let's talk about the teams we're going to be covering in our first game of the day. We're going to be jumping in on Water Dragons versus L.O.G.I.A. or Logia? Logia? How do you want to pronounce that?
Yeah, I'm going to go for L.O.G.I.A there.
Logia it is.
Also known as the blue team.
The blue team in this
Or the red team. Like one of
the red team. I think they're probably red from bracket side. But these are some players who I personally have not had too much experience with. So I'm very, very excited to see how this goes. And the winner of this will meet washed up in the bracket. So this is going to be a good way to test them out, have a look, and see how well they're going to do into what could be one of the toughest matchups in the bracket.
Yeah, I want to see that, Lily, though. If you name yourself Water Dragons, then I want you to deliver. Especially if you're going up in that first round. I mean, Water Dragons all the way, my friend.
Absolutely. Full Lily. Full ranged assassin Lily. There we go. That's how we get maximum memes in there. Just full damage. And on the other side, no, I can't think of any hero references. So got nothing there. But these are both, I think, 7-man rosters. So they have a little bit of flexibility in there.
Yeah, when we're talking about the Water Dragon setup, I mean, first of all, you get in the Uther main tank, you go full NA, then you drop the Lily Assassin, and then you still need a support there. You know, that's how you play that out.
Of course. Lily has too much wind-up to do. You got to wait it out. So in this case, not going to be the case. I expect. I mean, maybe we'll see the Lily, but I'm gonna hold out hope. I'm gonna temper my expectations.
We get Cursed Hollow, which personally I am really happy with because the map has been pretty underplayed for a while. So every single time it drops into the map pool immediately, into the best of 3, best of 1, best of 5, whatever it is, I'm quite happy. So yeah, one of the maps that I probably enjoy the most, to be honest.
Same. It's really stood the test of time. Like, if we compare it to the other maps that came out with the release of Heroes, let's talk about them. Cursed Hollow, fantastic. Dragonshire, good enough. Still played in the majority of pro games. And the other two
Black
Hearts Bay and Haunted Mines.
I mean, back in the day when you had a best of 3 series, you just had 3 times Cursed Hollow in a row.
Pretty much.
That was just all that you had.
Yeah, and then the next map to come out, I think, was Garden of Terror, which wasn't a massive improvement. It was definitely better than Haunted Mines and Black Hearts, though.
Yeah, Tomb of the Garden Curse, exactly. One of my favorites, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, like we said, Cursed Hollow is very much past the test of time and is going to be our first map of the day. But to jump to just something that we're just excited about, the people who are helping us run this tournament, Method, just a huge shout out to them for putting on such an amazing tournament. It's the first cup, and we are very excited. If you want to help support them, they're just getting into the scene. Every little bit of help you can do is very important. So make sure to follow Method on Twitter to stay in the know about upcoming events. And if you're on Instagram, they want to see you there too. You can hit !socials in the chat to find the links to that. And Caldor, though, they're doing something very special with the prize pool for these cups.
Yeah, exactly. So Method guarantees a minimum prize pool in total for all of this of $2,350. But of course, there is also some crowdfunding going on where you can contribute to the prize pool even more. And also, if you subscribe to the Method channel, that will actually be added there as well. So if the subs, for example, then surpass the prize pool of these tournaments, everything that goes on top of this will then also be added to the prize pool there automatically. So you can actually help grow this even more. I gotta point out something else, though. You had a beautiful transition there. So thanks for Method helping us and running the tournament, because I've been doing so much organizing here.
Absolutely. We've both been running our own tournaments, just trying to do what we can. So it's nice to have that help there. Feels good.
Yeah, but our first map is, of course, going to be a best of 1 series, so we're going to jump into that as soon as we can once the players are ready for the draft. And then we're going to see if that Lily makes it into the game, actually, because I would say for Cursed Hollow, it's not really a hero that I really want to see there if it's a serious game, but maybe have a couple of memers amongst them, so we'll find out.
Yeah. Only find out, and we're going to find out right now as we are heading into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. On your left, it is going to be the Water Dragons in the blue, appropriately, and L.O.G.I.A on the right-hand side. And they are going to have the first ban, meaning this was the map choice by Water Dragons, and Lunara is going to be the first hero removed.
Okay, so we are starting off strong with the Lunara ban. The Rhaegar ban, okay, I'm a little bit more sold on the Rhaegar ban considering the amount of camps that you have on the map. But the Bambi ban, that's an interesting touch here, especially as a first ban, so yeah.
Alright, so we have, with Lunara taken out, it's a weird ban, I'm not used to it. The Rhaegar, like you said, makes a lot of sense. The Abatha gonna be removed, that makes a lot of sense. It's a very, very large map, remove that really chaos potential. But right now, Zul, Johanna, ETC, all of these heroes have still been left available.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest here. When we are talking about the first round teams, I have not really had a lot of experience with the players on those teams. Might be that the Water Dragons have actually Lunara player and the teams have faced off against each other in any kind of the divisions, for example, in Heroes Lounge. So if that's the case, a ban against Lunara can make sense. If you're playing on one of the lower divisions, you know that your opponent, they love to play that hero and then it's a targeted ban, but from a meta perspective, of course, that doesn't really bring a lot to the table here. The Garrosh ban, a little bit more so. You already talked a bit about the Abatha setup right here, but when it at least comes to Greymane, there's quite a few arguments to be made for him on any of these maps. Mercenary camps, bosses, and of course also the burst kill potential that he has in team fights.
Absolutely, still one of the best burst heroes, so we're going to see that Greymane picked up. However, Johanna, potentially the best tank in the game right now, has been left completely available and is very solid into the Greymane. Fantastic blinds, great interruption, but no! We are seeing the Arthas as the first pickup. It technically is good into Greymane, but it's definitely off meta.
Yeah, it's a little bit old school. I mean, back in the days, what you really wanted to do is use Arthas as a side laner whenever you saw Greymane picked on Illidan, for example, would help to slow down the auto attacks quite a lot on the damage dealer on the other side. Nowadays, not really something that you see a lot. I mean, technically speaking, he still adds quite a bit to the draft to counteract Greymane slightly, but the problem, of course, that still remains is you can accomplish a lot of this with proper stuns as well, and those are a little bit more universal, and Arthas is still struggling on a lot of maps here, so we'll see if that actually is helping them in any way. But there's a lot of burst damage now, especially with that Ana and Li Ming lockup that they're seeing now from L.O.G.I.A.
This is looking to be a full burst reset composition, and then we look at the potential tanks lineup. They could still pick Johanna themselves, but it's going to be banned away, so never mind. So with Li Ming, Greymane, Ana, what are we looking at for the potential setup for this? ETC, of course, still one of the best tanks in the game. Reasonable against Arthas. Arthas only really has Icebound Fortitude to keep himself safe from that hard engage. If not, we've been seeing a very, very minor resurgence of Diablo, so maybe seeing that pop up could be possible.
Okay, the Zeratul ban instead. We'll see how much that actually brings there. Wasn't really something that was on my list right now. I mean, again, you need a really good Zeratul player in order to make that work. But let's have a bit of a look of what exactly the Water Dragons are going to pick now. They still need their support. The name gives it away.
It's got to be the Lily.
I have a feeling that
it's not. Boo! They take the ETC though. That's very sensible here. They have full tank control with a massive tank choke here, with ETC or Arthas being able to take that off-lane duty as well, so to give himself a great bit of flexibility. So what do we see now from L.O.G.I.A? Again, leaning maybe towards the Arthas. There's a Nubrak and Mal'Ganis available as well, and even if they want to go for just full engage Tyrael, we're going to see Muradin actually sneaking his way in, and Deathwing as their offlaner.
Okay, Deathwing in, Muradin together with that too. A lot of control on the other side. Obviously against Deathwing, not really all that useful, but if you have that ETC power slide with the Malfurion route coming in, you got Arthas with the Howling Blast setup, that can lock down a Greymane or Li Ming pretty reliably. And they go into Illidan. All right, we're really driving the agenda now over here. A lot of aggression from the Water Dragons in this game.
Absolutely, and of course Malfurion and Illidan is a reasonable combo, as Malfurion is one of those heroes who can actually heal Illidan after he is inted. But Illidan into Muradin is already a little scary, so we'll see how they're able to do that. Illidan into Deathwing, though, is a matchup that's not bad for the Illidan. He's very mobile and can give the Deathwing a lot of grief. And of course, the map control he can offer, if we go for that hunt style, will allow him to split soak quite effectively this game if they go for that style.
Could definitely be something that they're going to do here, just simply trying to get the pseudo global in. And you can, of course, also always attempt if someone else jumps in with you to go for that quick blow up and take one of those backline heroes down. I mean, Ana is obviously there. You have another chance to maybe jump onto someone like even Greymin or Li Ming. So we'll see what they can do with that. It's going to be an interesting map. Again, it's a best of one series. So this is
Yeah.
one of those do or die moments if you're looking at the single elimination bracket.
And the drafts do kind of scream that Deathwing sort of fell, not out of favor too much, but he's definitely picked much less than he was due to the fact he got hit by the nerf bat so many times he's now nerf. But seeing the Illidan in it is a very Hail Mary move, seeing as their only other damage dealer is Sylvanas. So this Illidan is going to have to do a lot of work to keep up here, but it is doable. Like we said, it's reasonable against the Deathwing. It's good against Li Ming. As long as he's able to avoid those shots from Li Ming, it's a Hail Mary move, but it might work. We'll have to see how they play it.
Yeah, I mean, with Illidan, you want to go into the late game, right? Early on, you
Yeah.
have a problem with space. You thrive and you have a lot of space available when the forts are down. And also, of course, when you can just like use the entire map for potential hunt setups. We might just see standard and them going into the metamorphosis and trying to dominate team fights through that. Depends a little bit on how exactly they want to play it here. We kind of know what L.O.G.I.A is going to try and do, try and go for a quick blow up here, which is definitely possible. But it's going to be interesting to see how that Illidan pans out.
Well, let's talk about it as we head into the game, ladies and gentlemen. And on the left-hand side, it will be the Water Dragons, with Hertua playing on the Malfurion. Oh, that's a name. Domina, we're just going to call him Domina, playing on the Sylvanas. Nebet on the Arthas, Fail on the ETC, and Jufta playing on the Illidan.
3, 2.
Doni Malanimo. Doni Malamina. There we go.
Domina Lamina. Okay, got
Easy, easy. You've done all of them there. But yeah, the first action straight into the middle, of course, from the two teams right now. And, well, Illidan is actually starting to take the watchtower towards the top left. So we don't really see a big fight here in the middle just yet between the two teams. But, yeah, we don't get that early on 5-man battle or anything.
Yeah,
What
everyone's
I'm
just
really
scouting.
interested in is the timings on the camps in particular, once that we know where the tribute, well, how it's working around the tribute there.
So we're already seeing, unless he's not picked his talent yet, Illidan is not going for Immolation. So this is likely a Battered Assault or an Unending Hatred. So he is going to be more committed to those team fights as opposed to that Split Soak. To be fair, he has an ETC on his team. ETC could even take over that Split Push duty and still have a very reasonable time. It is, in fact, going to be Battered Assault and Block Party for that ETC.
And talking about block, Muradin also moving into the new jump here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, again, against Illidan, yeah, maybe. It's going to be interesting. We got the Ether Walk over for Li Ming, but generally speaking, pretty much the talents that you would expect here. So we'll see how they're going to play around that.
Yeah, Rhyme for Arthas. The other talent you usually see picking here is the stacking talent on the W, but in this case, not going to be seeing that here. He's more committed about not dying to Deathwing in one shot, and of course, dying to Greymin in one shot, and Deathwing, of course, does some pretty reasonable auto-attack damage as well. So seeing that pickup, it's sensible. It's going to help him in that solo lane a little bit more, as both teams are just farming camps right now, as Greymin and the Ana will take Bruiser camp here, and Illidan continues to solo.
But it's exactly the rotation on the camps that you would expect here. The blue team, fully knowing that the tribute spawns at the bottom, is taking the Siege Giant camp last and focuses on the night camp first. Whereas on the red team side, the order is exactly reversed. So they are moving for the Siege Giant camp first, let that send through the bottom, and then hope that they get some value out of the middle here. We got Trome for it, and actually, in this case, Arthur's also going for a little bit more of an auto attack setup here, even with his choice on level 4.
Wait, he went for the Icy Talons. I think that talent is called. Okay.
So
all right.
theoretically, with changes to Rune Tap, I think 2 patches ago, 3 patches ago, you could play that. If you want to be like a little bit more of a bruiser style, then yeah, why not? Again, usually you don't pick Arthurs for that particular setup, but if you go for Icy Talons, then oftentimes you try to go for Rune Tap afterwards as well.
Yeah.
Of course, if you do that, then you let the Icebound Fortitude fly out, and if you're going up against a blow-up setup with Greymin and Li Ming, that could very, very quickly turn into you dying. So,
And of course, that CC reduction on Muradin would be a huge deal here, so it is very interesting. We'll have to see where he goes once he hits that level 7. But now, though, Fail will get a cheeky little interrupt with that loudspeaker, and Jufta has come all the way down to join the fight, as Deathwing right now is the only person not here, as Arthas will rotate in.
Yeah.
Deathwing's fine.
Yeah, still a little bit of just poking here. Nothing too crazy yet. Honestly, Deathwing could have even stayed outside. Just like try to push the camp out, but that camp on the blue team side was well timed to do a lot of damage now. Down here on the other hand, Mirrored in a little bit of trouble, has to jump out. Deathwing in the middle of things, looking for the first kill.
Looking to try and pick up anyone right now. Aita beginning the channel with the Deathwing here. You hope maybe someone else would zone. Will get interrupted though. He's holding the line for the moment though. He's in melee mode here. Not going to do any healing. He's just trying to really frontline and protect the rest of his team here. Muradin has already healed up. His level 7 is hit for both teams. Arthas, see what he picks. This Cataclysm's going to come in.
Yeah, starts to move in straight into the back line. Root is already on the ground. They're trying to go for RSS, and Abed is dead. And that's the first kill in the game, and the red team opens the fight up. The counter kill attempt, but instead Illidan is down. ETC sliding in a little bit too deep. Triple kill against the Water Dragons, and the first tribute goes straight up to L.O.G.I.A.
The power slide, ETC, very ambitious, but you can't stun. Deathwing gets shut down, gets killed off here. So we already see no rotations for experience here. They are looking for Sylph here. Great sleep to... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, just in time.
Those are always the best. There's the moments like mistakes were made. No! And yeah. If they would have taken down the tower previously, she would have died there. So yeah, nice clutch move and able to save Liming. But those are always the best. When you have a Genji zipping in, you know he doesn't get the kill, doesn't get the reset, can't get out. You simply overstep with Deathwing a little bit, end up behind the wall. In this case, thankfully for Liming, there was no consequence to it. But they're looking strong now. 4 kills against 0. They have a lead in experience. Top lane suffered a bit, of course. Ooh, that's a ballsy early setup. It's like, damn, that's going to take them a while.
It is going to take them a while. Finally, everyone else is going to come and help out with it, but it's going to be scouted by Deathwing, who's going to roll in here. No level 10 yet, so he doesn't have the Bellowing Roar, so he doesn't have a way to really counter this. He is, in fact, going to be chased down. He forces the boss leash, so as long as he gets out, that's pretty good value.
Yeah, top side, they're going actually for a counter boss over here, whereas at the bottom of the map it has leashed. So it's an interesting setup. I mean, very early bosses that we see from the two teams, pretty much at the 5-minute mark, starting to make the move for it, with another tribute now all the way up to the top.
Boss is going to be finished, no scouting, so it is taken. This is going to be level 10 with a boss pushing the tribute though, channeling in. No one makes it their entire... Oh, Deathwing from above with the delay.
Yeah, easy one for them, and now we have level 10 in play, so that should lead to an easy second tribute. And of course, the top push could now be really devastating for the blue team. If you push in with level 10 abilities and also the boss, you should be able to, I mean, at least destroy the wall, but that fort is definitely up for grabs.
Yeah, with that level 10, they're going to push in, see what they can get. Everyone was able to retreat safely away from the boss. Nice and move by the Water Dragons, really keeping on top of the match right now. Going to be able to dodge the root. Fort's taking damage. Boss dropped low, but ETC has already been forced to retreat here, putting Sylvanas in a little bit of danger. She needs to get closer to do the damage, but Muradin was pressuring her. Muradin has retreated, though, and boss will be taken out after the fort is slain.
Yeah, also another thing that got taken is the hunt for Illidan.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. So we got our pseudo global in play, and we can try and play around that. Outside of this, pretty much the talents that we would expect. We didn't see Tranquility. We have Twilight Dream over here. We have also the Nano Boost now. Bullet is in. So the talents that you would expect in this situation. But they, again, if the coordination is there, the Illidan setup could be doing a lot of work in the back line, especially if you combo that with a good arrow, well timed from Sylvanas.
Very true. Wailing Arrow plus Twilight Dream potential. Cataclysm gonna come in again. They're committing to the engagement. Diving deep. Good damage. And Fail is gonna be absolutely chunked here. Great Bellowing Roar to prevent any mosh pit potential. And that is gonna be another massively won fight going over to L.O.G.I.A. Nebet forced back, and they're gonna channel that tribute. Get the curse. Get a kill. Get a kill. There we go, minions. Finish off the job there. And that's gonna be the curse for L.O.G.I.A.
Yeah, Water Dragons have still not gotten a single kill here, and the Liming resets. It got iffy at some points, but they were able to keep Liming alive, and she, through the kill, was able to reset the cooldown. on her teleport and simply jump out of it, but then follow it up with another combo that led to the kill against the third one, actually against Arthur's here. But the situation is starting to really snowball, because this is at least going to be one more forward down to the bottom of the map. Deathwing is very likely going to deliver the third. And that means that we're looking at now an entire map that has been opened up with the red team, destroyed every single fort on the blue team side, took that boss, took an early lead in experience, in talents. Not an easy one to come back from.
Yeah, this is looking pretty rough. As level 13s are hit as well, talent advantage. Every possible lead is currently in favor of L.O.G.I.A. Very curious. Well, of course, in terms of comeback potential, you can't get a huge amount better than Mosh Pit. So
Yeah.
there is hope for the Water Dragons here. They don't have Cleanse, so they need to time this against Deathwing in case he's able to drop that Earth Shatter, or of course that Bellowing Roar. And of course, make sure they get everyone else in the Mosh Pit as well.
Yeah, so it's all about the Mosh Pit setup, maybe even an insta-kill. It's still level 13 talent advantage that they have. Dedicating to the boss. Greyman, of course, helps a lot here. Chunking away, and blue team does try and contest it. You don't really know either, or if they do, then at least they don't check. That's another push to the bottom of the map. And we're still early in the game. I mean, it's 9.5 minutes on the clock. So it's not like that boss is going to be super strong just yet. But with the advantage that they have, they should at least be able to break the wall. If they can take a keep too, it would be great.
This is looking so good for them. Like you said, wall should be no trouble at all. However, Sylvanas and Illidan are coming down here to try and prevent that keep being taken. Illidan, this is where Illidan really has trouble in a defensive situation like this, because he is melee and he is squishy. So as such, he has to play it safe. He's finally going to get some auto attacks in onto that boss. While Stunlow continues to zone him out. Fail also getting slowed down by Deathwing. Really can't find the engage angle here.
It's tricky. As I said, they're very melee focused here. The only thing that they have going for them is that boss is still very weak and didn't scale into the late game, but you can already tell how much damage it's doing here. And they nearly took the keep with this. So 7 kills against 0. Illidan thinking about chasing here maybe. Again, 13 versus 13 talents. Let's be realistic. The chances of the Water Dragons to come in and get an even talent fight after 16 is hitting for L.O.G.I.A is slim to none. So it's going to be very tricky for them to start a comeback there. That's one of the reasons why they're so aggressive right now. They're really posturing on the map. They're trying to catch someone off guard, force a battle, force a fight, engage into them. And I don't really think that L.O.G.I.A is going to give them that. I could even see them just giving up that tribute. I mean, why wouldn't they?
They may, and they have their boss in top lane, so they could easily get value elsewhere on the map, but it looks like they don't want to. Muradin distracting the rest of the team as the wraparound is coming from the back. Cataclysm for the engage. It is good. Muradin is getting focused down, though, but Arthur's getting absolutely bodied in the background. Will finally get that holds off and to heal up, but the Bellowing Roar is going to massively shut down ETC. Another fight with maybe no mosh pit. He is alive this time, though.
Yeah, I mean, that Battering Roar was beautiful. There's a kill against Illidan. Malfurion dead and an ETC kill. He made them dance at least once, but that's 4 down, and the only one that is able to survive here is Sylvanas. She's moving out again. That's level 16 versus 13, and that's obviously the keep destroyed at the bottom of the map. With the camp that moves in, I mean, it seems like they're really going for core here. Don't have a lot of time, though. I mean, death timers are incredibly low at this point, but it's definitely possible for them to drop it here if they play it correctly.
They have Greymane, they have Li Ming. Li Ming needs to separate herself from the minions. Muradin getting bodied as he stood on that curse there, losing all that armor. But Deathwing is still so healthy. Greymane is the next target. Remove him, remove that core damage. They will do so. They're trying to do it. Deathwing dropping low. Twilight Dream does not land on Sylph. Anna trying to kite Illidan here, really trying to save the day. Deathwing's down. Li Ming stunned down. It's up to Anna. Anna is sniped, and that is going to be Water Dragons holding on 5%.
5-man wipe. 16 versus 16. Yeah, all of a sudden we have 5 kills on the board for the Water Dragons. But let's be honest, you have 5% on the core. If you lose sight at any point now, it's just lights out. So from here on out, the Water Dragons have to play pretty much a perfect game if they want to win this. And they are trying to start things up by, first of all, grabbing the tribute at the bottom of the map. That's going to be the easy one. And also trying to go for the boss top side. L.O.G.I.A can allow all of that. It might be 16 versus 16 on the talents, but there is still the level advantage for L.O.G.I.A. So if they just play this out, he will eventually end up with level 20 a little bit sooner than the Water Dragons. And one boss at the bot lane, whenever it's taken, would end the game for sure.
Very true. Speaking of bot lane, Illidan needs to clear that. There are 2 catapults there, and they will just end the game. This is why we see everyone porting back to base at this point, making sure they are able to defend that up and allow Illidan to continue taking camps. This is going to be a very, very slow, very arduous attempt to make their comeback for the Water Dragons, but they're gonna try it. Never give up, never surrender, they say.
Yeah. But now, top side, again, that's going to be defend. There's not a lot more on the map that they can take to really apply pressure. So, Tribute, even this one, not a problem. It's only going to be the second one. Red team should be able to fight for it if they really want to. But once that the bot side boss spawns, then you have to be super careful if you're the blue team. You have to constantly keep an eye on it and never allow, with Greymane in particular, L.O.G.I.A to get close to it and take it down there. So, it's going to be really tricky. They can't lose another fight here or the game's over.
Alright, Tribute comes in and is captured. Again, L.O.G.I.A not taking the risk of taking the fight there. They'll avoid any really hard engages here. As we see another mercenary camp taken for L.O.G.I.A, they're being very patient. However, they are giving up this bottom boss. Oh, they're not taking it. They're going to try and trap it.
Yeah. I mean, again, you have to keep an eye on it, right? But if you go straight up for it, then your opponent might just come in from behind, take you down, steal the boss away, and end the game. So not going to be an easy one. I like the way that the blue team is doing the camps, though. They are always timing them pretty nicely towards the top side, trying to apply more pressure to that fort. Deathwing can, of course, shut that down and pretty much is doing that. But this Tribute will change the pace a little bit because now we're talking about the potential curse against the red team. So this is one of those moments where you can actually force L.O.G.I.A to react. But they are aware that the bottom boss is an obstacle and a problem, so they're trying to go for it. But they are getting sniffed out here. Deathwing is easily channeling the top, and then he can fly in down here. This could be it, Tetcha. This could really be the biggest fight.
It really could. They gotta be careful. We see this boss being taken, and it looks like they're gonna give it up. We are denied.
Okay. Now, they're now in this interesting position where they're just simply saying, okay, guys, let's give them the boss. Screw it. What we need is the early 20. We go for the early level 20. We're going to try and play it slow. We're not going to fight over the boss because they're a little bit afraid that if they lose the team fight and they lose the boss, that then all of a sudden the Water Dragons take the lead, at least on the experience count. And since they still have the fort at the bottom of the map, they can afford to not go for the boss here. But then you also don't want to take that fight now. Then just fall back, let the fort drop, wait for your 20. But once the 20 hits, they need to act, because the problem for them is they're not really that far ahead anymore. It's half a level if so.
You see a lot of pressure being applied to that bottom four. Good escape there by Jufta. Plays it safe. Everyone staying alive for the moment. Deathwing will shift forms, and so they're going to try and contest onto this Tribute.
Yeah, Tributers are coming up. They still don't have 20. With Deathwing coming in, they don't have the side soak anymore. To be fair, both of the lanes are pushed out, so they've been tricky to get additional experience there anyways. But now, here comes Deathwing, moving in again, mirrored in, also starting to jump in very quickly. Nebet, on the other hand, on this Arthas is in trouble, and Illidan goes down right away. They take him down within a second. It's level 20 on the board for them, and Storm Talon's already getting picked by at least a few of the heroes. Party time by ETC. Interrupt attempt not working, but it doesn't matter. They can't get the kill against Li Ming, and here is Arthas finally finished off by Li Ming.
Beautiful active reload coming in from Ana to save the Greymane. They pick up the ETC. They're looking for Sylvanas. This could be game counter with Sylv taken out. Reason quiet. Mal's gonna get the tribute and get the curse. But
I like the optimism.
Be game.
I like the ultimate. This could be game. It could be Tetcha. It could be.
Mal's gonna come back and 5-man wipe. Just you watch. No, it's gonna be it with the fight, with everyone going down. That is gonna be game for going over to L.O.G.I.A, and they will move on in the bracket.
Yeah, nicely done. And as the reward for the victory, they now go up against Washed Up. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is a little rough, but we'll see what they can do. And wish them luck, because L.O.G.I.A did have very solid control over that matchup. Let's be honest. They dominated from minute 1 to one team to the time they fed on core, but otherwise they did fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, again, they had pretty much every single team fight in this entire game. The only one that they lost was the one on the core. And as we said, the problem was it was a really early attempt to try and take the core down. I think 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So the death timers are super low. And at that point, opponent just respawns. You pointed out how Muradin actually just ate the entire curse there and had no armor left. So he just like got popped within a second. If that doesn't happen, I think they have the core there. But
Yeah.
even with that, 5 percentage points means that if you at any point lose a hero or two, you're just done. So it was a nice attempt at a comeback. But yeah, L.O.G.I.A was just a bit too strong here.
I hope you're all enjoying the show so far, as we're preparing to head towards series number 2, I believe.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I just want to see how far the Swedes can go, because this is going to be the highlight. That was the one thing that we missed out a little bit when they played in that last qualifier, that they only jumped into the last one, which of course from their perspective make perfect sense. Jump into the last one, which is the easiest one to win, and that they did. But at the same time, I was just like, oh, I want to see them going up against Washed Up. I want to see them against Lauer's fan club and see if they can win that too. And they got the skill on their side, but the synergy, can they build that up? A lot of these guys have, of course, played together in the past. But if for a long time you've been focusing on other games, then yeah, we'll see how that goes for them in this tournament. And again, if they don't win in this one, then obviously there's more tournaments to come, and then the monthly final. So there's a lot of chances for them to really make their way all to the top there.
Yeah, a couple of these players have played on teams together, but a lot of them may have never played together outside of in-house scrims. So, like you said, they've got to build that rapport, and they've got to do it in this cup. There's been a little bit of practice, but overall, there's some tough opponents here. And like you said, we're looking at these washed ups, these Feel the Heat, these Lobas fan clubs, and we'll see how they do. For now, though, HOTS, they have their work cut out for them playing against some of the legends of the scene.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you go into a game where you already know, okay, boys, this is not going to be easy. But what I kind of find funny is that for the Last Dance, the icon that they actually have for their team, the team logo, is also just like classic Breeze, like dancing with ETC and nobody's around. So, as terrifying as ETC always was, there's like multiple instances where in other tournaments you just see him in the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden just like misclicking his R button, and then in just like plain sight starting to dance with ETC and wasting a cooldown. I think it happened in his career maybe like 4 or 5 times, and it was always funny as hell. So his teammates always calling it out. I mean, back when all this started, he was like 16 years old. He was the youngest on the team. So, of course, then he got a lot of shit for all of that. But
he was the master, though, of playing like he still had it after using it accidentally. And it was really good. He was the master of the bluff. And that's honestly what made Breeze one of the best tank players in the world. And he would still just randomly drop mosh pits every now and again. It's an accident that happens to everyone, and he can still be one of the best. It's fantastic.
Hardcore fat fingering it there. No, but like his ETC is absolutely terrifying. One of his preferred heroes. Then, of course, he has also his Diablo setup and everything. It's going to be an absolute pleasure to see what they're going to draft for map number 1 here. We're actually going to jump into the draft in just a second, but I can't wait to see what they are going to bring to the table. And also, it's a question of how serious are they going to take this right now? Are we going to see the meme a little bit? Do they just go full on meta, or what's happening here from Last Dance?
Gonna be finding out as we head in. Map choice was chosen by the Last Dance here, taking us to Ultrarak Pass, AKHUNDELAR Academy. They will take the first pick and first ban.
Yeah, and of course the question is again, are we going to see meta, or is it something where it's mostly about trying to take out preference pick? I mean, obviously, I don't want to ban against the team like the Last Dance. I mean, what do you ban out there? It's pretty much just a question of which death would you like to die. So.
Very true. The last game we did see a big tank choke, and it wasn't too effective. But in this case, starting off similar, banning the strongest tank in the game right now. Johanna will be removed here. Last Dance, though. What route do they plan on going down? Maybe we'll actually see some Zul priority in this draft, as last round he was completely ignored.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me, it's more so a question of how much memeing are we going to see from Last Dance. Let's just face it. They're going into this as the highly favorite. They're currently a team that everybody looks at and says, okay, these guys are going to be in the grand final most likely, and they have a shot of winning the tournament. AKHUNDELAR Academy, on the other hand, they are probably just like sitting there and saying like, okay, guys, let's do our best, and let's just like try to not get speed farmed here. because this is still one of the
Yeah.
early rounds in the tournament. If they can do more, that would be awesome. I would be all for that. A little bit of an upset and them really just like pushing the Last Dance to the limit would be fantastic. But as we're entering all of this, the heavy favorite position goes, of course, to the blue team.
Greymane taken out, still incredibly strong. Will we see perhaps Rhaegar banned out? Has been a pretty big tradition recently. Or will he be let through? Going to be finding out. So far, we already have 2 tanks banned out. We're still seeing ETC left up. You were talking about it earlier. Diablo is available. He's not high on the priority list at the moment, but if they have a draft built around it, maybe we'll see him. It's going to be Rhaegar taken out, removing that potential bloodlust style that we have seen just get so strong.
Yeah, Rhaegar, Greymane, and Tyrael together in a combo, if you get that set up, especially on a map like Infernal Shrines, for example, it's just terrifying. Everybody pops their R button, and all of a sudden you just see people dying left and right. We're starting off with ETC, so a little bit of a deny pick here to Breeze too. Here that would be interesting for me is also Vala a little bit. We get the new Tassadar first. If they want to put a bit of pressure onto the bosses, then Vala setup would be kind of nice. But we get Chris and Tassadar plus Anna now in play, so that's already a really good setup for damage to start things off with.
That Tassadar does so much burst, can really even dominate a solo lane if they want to put it there. And of course, you have that potential Archon we've been seeing a lot, but with Anna, it's not going to matter so much because that Q is going to just chunk people so much here. Here's the counter though, Malfurion for the main healing output here, and Sylvanas going to try and outpush the lane, push with the objective. This could give them a little bit of map control value. See how that works for them. Malthael banned out. I'm starting to lean in a Cho'Gall direction, perhaps, because Malthael ban out is a little telling.
I guess we'll see.
Or Deathwing.
I mean, the thing is that Chris is actually pretty happy about the Tassadar pick, I suppose, because
yes.
he's been tweeting on Twitter also about how he feels like the hero is just absolutely insane, showed a little bit his win rate with the hero. And so he's just doing the same thing yet again, trying to farm a little bit more Storm League points. But so now with the bans out, what are we going to get?
Offlane, perhaps, for Wubby. Could be a potential here with that Malthael banned out, but they still need a main tank with Tyrael removed.
I just want to see Wubby on URL. Meta or no meta, I don't care. I just want to have it just for old time's sake. Just once in this tournament, Wubby on URL, please. Outside of that, he can go full meta. I don't really care, but just for old time's sake. One time the space code. But in this game, it is Deathwing, and boy gets leaning.
Yeah, I don't know why I was expecting the Cho'Gall. Far too optimistic. Deathwing makes so much more sense here.
I can tell you exactly why. We spent way too much time in North America.
Yeah, true. Alright, so Deathwing being picked up. This should be a no-brainer Leoric pickup. No! Kerrigan Samuro to finish off the draft here.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot of burst.
That I didn't see coming at all. So, yeah, Kerrigan and Samuro set up. That will be funny. What is Breeze going to get out of the front, though?
Yeah, how do you counter this? A lot of the tanks who would really be able to disengage from this have been taken out. How do you deal with this? Gonna go for Muradin to
just kill it.
He's got a good chance to survive at least the engage if he pops Avatar. Diablo might struggle a little bit as he's reliant on the Firestorm. A Nubarak would just pop. Makes sense. It's gonna be picked up here. It's extra crowd control. It's good burst.
I mean, the last time I saw someone try and play Samuro against Wubby was BlizzCon, and yeah, that didn't go so well. Back then it was URL, but yeah, that Bladestorm Samuro back there, yeah, didn't do too well. So Glorang will probably remember that. But for now, heading into this one, I don't think that Samuro is going to fare any better, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm imagining like a full-size dragon. Like if you've played WoW, so you've seen these huge raid bosses.
No, I didn't.
And the image of it the image of it is fantastic to me because I know you are doing damage, but it just looks hilarious to me to see this huge ass boss, and then you just have tick 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 tick. Just people like a tenth of its side, slowly knocking it down its health bar. That's how I imagine Samuro against Deathwing in this game when Wubby's playing it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, if you want to play a bit of a macro style, then maybe, but this will be tough. They're obviously hoping to build up a little bit of momentum, maybe around the objective here. But yeah, just go for it. I mean, I can appreciate the YOLO setup. You know, you just say, okay, let's just go for it. Let's have some fun here. Try to be aggressive. See if you can get something with this. Against a team like The Last Dance, tricky. But again, you can say that about any draft that they pick. So stay in your comfort zone. Play something that you're familiar with. Try and have a little bit of fun here. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do there.
They've gone for something that can snowball, and more importantly, they've gone for something that can core race with that Samuro, with that Sylvanas. That might be their chance, as it looks like we are going to be heading into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Still in our best of ones, I believe. So, winner takes all. And let's see if the snowball of AKHUNDELAR Academy is going to be enough. But on the left-hand side, the last dance. Wabi on Deathwing, Breeze on Muradin, Zalia on Zalia on the Ana, Poik on Li Ming, and Chris going to be playing Tassadar.
And instantly the double money pick. You gotta love it. Top players come back and they take the best mount in the game. Wooby would have taken it too, but he's playing Deathwing, so instead he ate the mount. And yeah, on Dragon gotta eat. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, completely agree. On the right-hand side, in AKHUNDELAR Academy, King Falstag, great name on the Kerrigan, Behemoth on Malfurion. We have, oh god, I'm going to mispronounce this one, Heptanol on the ETC, Chansor on the Sylvanas, and currently hiding, it is going to be the Samuro. Hit chilling up to top lane already, which means he's not available for this burst as Kerrigan leaps forward, but Force Wall will trap Heptanol away. He will make it out, though.
Okay, there's good news for the red team. They survived the initial brawl in the middle. So that's already good.
True. With a man down, Liliduff went straight up the top lane on that Samuro. Did not want anything to do with it. Just backed up. Also, my mistake, it is Chakao on the Sylvanas. Pronounced it wrong. Chris already being bullied a little bit in lane, but of his wave clear is going to help him out just so much here.
Yeah. Again, this is going to be an interesting one. I want to see how the Academy is going to deal with all of this. There's a lot of pressure on them. I honestly would really like to know if they are in any way intimidated by this. Because if you look at that lineup, I mean, this is like fully HGC former pros champions what we're having over here. Going up against that can be a little bit intimidating. I guess in the early game, I don't really expect the Last Dance to necessarily take a massive lead or anything, but once the level 10 abilities kick in, I would not be surprised if we are seeing a bit of a snowball happen over here. Would love to see a bit of teeth from the Academy, on the other hand. If they can make something happen, that would be kind of great. But there's already early pressure against Kerrigan with a quick jump from Breeze.
Takes a big chunk of damage from Li Ming, but will survive him. Mercenaries for both sides, almost defended on the towers, almost timed correctly by AKHUNDELAR Academy. But in this case, it will be defended a little bit too far forward for the towers to assist them here. Double sleep coming in from Ana, really shutting down that defense.
Yeah, level 4 talents coming in. And so far, not even a single kill in the game. A little bit of pressure in the middle. If you're playing on Alt-Direct Pass, first of all, you really, really want to take your camp pretty much on cooldown. It's the only camp outside of the bosses on the map, pushes through the middle, and is actually packing a punch. So if you take that reliably and your opponent doesn't, you will eventually burn down that fort simply through the camp alone. But of course, the objective will be interesting here too, because oftentimes teams will ignore the objective until level 7. I've seen games where teams just absolutely ignored it nearly until level 10, but normally it's all until level 7. A bit of a nice setup here that Zalia was trying to set up, but not quite working out for them. But now with the prisoner camps up, I kind of expect them to stall it out until they have the next Talon on the board.
I think you might be right. Solid dodge on the sleep dart by Sylvanas. Chris, we haven't seen the level 1 talents yet, but I believe he's probably gone for the stacking, and he's probably got quite a few, as he has been laning against Samuro here. So really giving his team a nice little chunk of damage for the later game.
Yeah.
Mercenary camp being taken once again. Malfurion is on the way there with Sylvanas for the other side, so AKHUNDELAR Academy going to try and match that.
But you can see exactly what I meant. They take it on cooldown right now. So they're rotating very quickly, take it on cooldown. On the other side, it gets taken a little bit later, but they do take it, so I like that. But we will likely see that from Last Dance, at least in the earlier stage of the game, quite reliably, that they just move on cooldown towards the camp and try and lock it in. Breeze is currently buying a bit of time. They got the level 7 by now, so this is like the time to fight. Calamity is in. Still the most important talent for Li Ming over here.
Yeah, Reverberation for Muradin, by the way, going for that attack speed slow. Oh, Oh, okay, well, they know he's here. Can they really do anything about it, though? Samuro in not the best position. Mid lane will be defended. Samuro's being chased down. He's trying to sneak away with the invisibility. He's on the run, but he's got nowhere to go. Juking back and forth. He's on the run. Great stun by Breeze, though. He's still going, though. They haven't locked him down yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely wasting a lot of time on the other end. And he gets out! Nice! Nicely done. Whatever else happens, he can now claim that he juked out Zelia, Poik, and Breeze.
Absolutely, that's certainly a great thing to call as level 7
like,
finally hit.
Boys, I just peeked, I'm done. Drops the keyboard, just walks away.
I'll leave, let my AI take over.
It's like, sorry guys, but like I just peeked. This is over. Like I'm done playing. Can someone do a does someone have the Reddit clip?
Alright, they're gonna head back to lanes. The camp was already neutralized by the side of the last dance. And the AKHUNDELAR Academy, they are still poking their way in. Chris is continuing to gain so many stacks though. That Q does so much damage, dude. Gonna force back Shakur. Looking for a backline. Wobby, though, coming in with the Cataclysm. They're committing to this fight. Li Ming's not hit. It's a 3v5.
Yeah, it is, because they're again going for the camp, as we already said previously. The funny thing is they're actually about to win that 3v5. They nearly took ETC down. They're stopping the objective. Poik is there and is like, dude, you remember team fights, right?
Samuro, he prevents Deathwing from cancelling. Samuro will die here. He ran out of mirror images, but he actually used his body to prevent Deathwing from stopping the channel, and as such, first objective of the game goes over to AKHUNDELAR Academy. See a Behemoth. He is taken out as well. 2 kills to 0. A full level lead for the last dance, but here come the cavalry.
Yeah, but see, I told you, Samuro should have left after that juke.
He got the objective. Are you?
He died a minute later. Not sure what to tell you here. Nah, jokes aside, they get the follow-up kill against ETC now, so that's an early level 10 for them too. And yeah, they need to defeat the objective, but this early on in the game, it's still pretty weak. And with the talent advantage in their hands, shouldn't really have any problems with this.
Yeah, no one's pushing with the objective because they were mostly dead. In fact, mid lane was being counter-pushed. They have to back up. Good sleep. Gonna try and make it in with Nano Boost. Picks up 1, 2, 3, 2. And we will see Samuro just bop down Li Ming. Taken out here. Breeze in full retreat. Zelia will get out, but honestly, a 2-for-1 could have gone worse. That's their first kill of the game.
It was again Poik with the reset mechanics here, just coming in, getting the quick jumps, but again, obviously the counter kill. So that's only good for AKHUNDELAR Academy. I like that. They were able to juke out at the top. They got their first kill locked in as well. It's not really too bad for them. I think they're doing fairly well considering the lineup that they go up against here. Gotta give them some credit. I mean, we're joking around a little bit, of course, but the team that they go up against, as we said, is just absolutely insane. But they're really fighting back as best as they can, and don't make it too easy for their opponents.
I mean, I actually think Lurduff is kind of doing a hell of a job here. Yep. Really putting on a performance. He's delayed. He's escaped to engage. He's killed. He's got the only kill of the game. Ana might make it the second, though. Down goes Zelia. Great engage by King Falstag. And with the control of the objective, preventing that going over to the last dance, they're behind, but they could be worse, and Samuro is going to be able to start split soaking now that he's level 10 as well. This is some good value.
Yeah. I mean, rumor has it that the Samuro player is actually a regular on Monkey's channel. Can neither deny or confirm at this point. But they're doing a pretty decent job. Definitely got to say that. The thing is, they're still a level behind, of course. It's nearly level 13 on the board now for the last dance, and the extra talent is going to help them to lock the next prisoner camp in. And now the bosses are up too, so that's another thing that you have to watch out for here.
Trap set up. Breeze, will he be able to scout it? He's just going to go in. He thought they were doing the boss, but it was a trap. You can see Heptamold power sliding through it. Breeze is burst. A one-man mosh. Samuro in the backline. Going to get sleeved by Zelia, though. That will shut that down, and the boss gets the final hit on him. Trading out 1-for-1 here. The trap. Well, it's strong on ETC, but the counter kill, Samuro trying to kill the backline, but the Archon was too strong.
Yeah, and yeah, no boss is taking it, but there's a 13 talent. A bit of a sleep setup. Let's see what they can get out of this. King Falstag, and that's the kill as Li Ming comes in. This time, Poik is playing it a bit safer against Sylvanas. He got the nano boost as the fight started up, but they can still take the wall down. And Breeze now back to business. 7 kills against 3. But yeah, definitely AKHUNDELAR Academy doing what they can here. Follow up a little bit too late after the power slide from Malfurion though.
Yeah, Ruta split, second too late, not catching Poik here. And here we do see Poik. I didn't even realize because of how low he's been in these fights. He did take dominance on Li Ming. It's just how much damage we're seeing from AKHUNDELAR Academy. He still looks low, even after all these kills.
Yeah, but, well, for now, we actually still got the... Again, in the camp, you can actually see this on the minimap. Every single time it's up, it's immediately taken. To a fault. I mean, Poik took it earlier when there was a fight up at the top. Now, they are doing way more damage in the middle of the map. AKHUNDELAR Academy is trying to match that as best as they can. They send pretty much the same combo over every time it's up. So they're always playing around Sylvanas and around Malfurion here. But there's a quick annihilation of ETC at the bottom. Objective is already up. We got forced into that, and this is the setup. You want to set this up with Ana, with Muradin, and then Poik has just a freebie right there.
They're getting this objective. They're split soaking as well. Look at the positioning of AKHUNDELAR. They're all here, but they're taking far too long to move in. Kerrigan will finish second. They're going to move in for the 4v4. The TAS was soaking bot lane the entire time this was happening. Breeze gets bopped a little bit. Here comes the channel. Behemoth will prevent the objective.
Yeah, there's the Stormbolt though, there's the wall, and there's the kill. Nicely done. Zack's completed too. Kerrigan is down, and that's of course a staggered death. They're trying to go for Kerrigan. Kerrigan, Stormbolt, and Malfurion is dead too. Yeah, Kerrigan obviously already dead. ETC just coming back. Malf down. Ana escaped. Yeah, now that we have 16 on the board, 10 kills against 3. Ana still on the run. And she's going to make it out. This is looking bad for the Academy.
Yeah, they're holding, but they're taking damage. Chris has been split pushing a lot of this game, getting so much value. Deathwing with the Elementium plating here. Not the most common pick. Oh, the illusions tilting, taunting him, not going for the attacks, and the fort lives. Feels bad, man. There's the objective going over the last dance. And, wow, that is unfortunate for AKHUNDELAR Academy. 22 seconds till Samuro is alive. They lose Heptanol here. No, he will get out. But we're about to see some structures die.
Yeah, put them on the map now. If they can take the fountain down, that would already be great. But with the objective coming in, you should be able to at least get 2 forts out of it. You can, in the mid lane, already see Tassadar doing his thing on the minimap. Just like burning this down. Down here at the bottom, Sylvanas is trying to burn the waves out as fast as she can. But with a 3-level lead, things are going to be really tricky.
Going to begin focusing onto the forts in 2 lanes. Mid will perish. Can they get Kerrigan too? Power slide will buy time, but you can't stun Deathwing. He buys more time, picks up the kill, and even gets the multi-man fear as they look for Sylv. Fire breath, molten breath, not enough for the kill. But Li Ming is with the nano boost, and they get 4 for 0. Let's make it 5. Easy peasy, says Poik. And they're just going to try and end the game here.
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, the death timers are now at 13 seconds for Kerrigan. They go straight up for the keep. Keep in mind that this core, on the other hand, regenerates. So if they are unable to finish this, then it would be back at full health. But honestly, with this much time still on the board for the next heroes to come back, it's pretty unlikely. Last dance, they had enough. They go in and annihilate Kerrigan again.
She tried, an effort was made. Here comes ETC, even if he mosh pits, Deathwing's still up. That's gonna be game. Last dance. Take the game, the map, and the series.
Yeah, well done. So they advance to the next round, but good setup by them. Last dance with a victory in this case, and still a couple of funny moments here for the Academy. That Samuro setup in particular was something that I enjoyed quite a lot when they were trying to chase him down and he was able to escape. That was pretty sweet.
Either way, that matchup should be pretty good, but so should this one, as we've already mentioned. Several memorable names on both these teams. PEPEMLADY did a fantastic job in other tournaments in the past, already good, and gamers made up of a lot of very memorable names.
I think it's Shanoskori.
Shanoskori? You're probably more accurate than I am, because British people don't know how to pronounce Central European words.
I mean, again, don't take my word for granted here, but I think I'm like at least on the right path, but I'm not trying to claim to be an expert here. But after I mean, honestly, still, after the Shishirithi thing, I was like, okay, I got it now. So that was the only one where I came in and said, like, right off the bat, pronounced correctly, I'm done. Polish, done.
Fair enough. Yep, same. Always rough. But it looks like, though, what won't be rough is this draft, as we are going to be heading in to our game in round 3 here. Let's get this underway. PEPEMLADY on the left, Gamers on the right. We are underway.
This should be actually really, really interesting match now. Yeah, that should actually be pretty cool. We have good players on both sides, experienced players on both sides too. And I mean, if you have followed Heroes, not only in the HGC era, but also afterwards, then you should actually be familiar with pretty much every single name here. A lot of these guys played in the in-house tournament. They played in Meta Madness. They played in a lot of the previous cups that we had, Division S as well. So yeah, those should be familiar names to you. And there is obviously also Ice Cream now on the red team side. Storky for a while was absent, came back then. But this should be a really fun game between the two teams here. And PEPEMLADY has been playing in Division 1 for a long time, has also participated in a lot of the higher level cups and tournaments. So this could be a real fun game, especially since it's Battlefield of Eternity, which usually leads to a lot of team fighting.
Yes, it does. With Anna taken out, though, she is, well, was in this case devastating in the last series we watched. We already know how powerful she is. Going to see her taken out. Her and Rhaegar are the top in terms of snowball level supports right now. So seeing Anna taken out makes a lot of sense. Wouldn't be surprised to again maybe see Johanna banned out in this draft. We will see.
Well, what do we get? Zarya ban. So no Zarya and Garrosh shenanigans on this map, so we don't get that speed barrier. The interesting part is actually that PEPEMLADY is a team that for some reason they like to play Artanis as a late pick on Battlefield of Eternity. They've done it 4 or 5 times now that I casted them in Division 1 and others. I think they lost 80% of those games where they picked him, which doesn't really come as a surprise because the heroes just got awful as an offlaner, even on Battlefield of Eternity, especially since with the recent change, they're not even going into the extra damage against the Immortal, but try to stack. It backfired heavily. I don't know if they did it in the last 2 series that I casted from them, which was actually just like last week, because they wanted to give it a shot and didn't really care too much. I think they were in lead at the time. But just saying, it is a pick that I've seen previously on this map multiple times from them.
Like I said, the race is good. It has value, but it doesn't seem to get as much success as some of these teams seem to believe it would. Speaking of success, though, Tassadar coming in as the first pick. But ETC left available. Johanna and Garrosh removed. He becomes the highest priority tank. And Rhaegar makes it in.
Yeah, Rhaegar's in, so we got the Lightning Shield for Camp Clear and also for extra damage on the Immortal side. Can still play the game with Bloodlust, especially if you can get a Grey main. Jimmy is in, so we're going to see Exterminator on level 1 to try and burn down the Immortal as quickly as you can. Damage pretty much secured for them.
Yeah, and it's a terrifying amount of damage here. Like you said, Exterminator, Reyna doesn't actually need the damage from Ace or his whatever the other town is called to get value. He can still just do massive amounts here. Blaze being picked up here. Now, this leaves them very flexible with their main tank, unless they plan on using Blaze as the main tank, which is possible, but unconventional.
Yeah, I would say not here. If you see it, it's mostly like an Infernal Shrines setup, right? I've seen it once or twice also on Dragonshire, but not really all that much on the higher level. But damage output for PEPEMLADY will be interesting because right now you're looking at Greymane as a potential pick. You're also looking at, let's say, Vala with an arrow build, trying to get the extra damage in. Still, Li Ming oftentimes a pick here too. Now Anna has been banned out, so that is obviously also a little bit of a hit against Li Ming herself, but she's great for these stalemate situations when you just throw out your combos against the opponent's Immortal, and then the opponent's team have to make the decision, do the damage go through, and you slowly whittle down the Immortal HP, or do they soak it with the hero, which eventually is going to put them in a bad spot too, and puts pressure on the support. But Greymane gets banned, again, with Rhaegar in particular. It's a great setup, you don't want to let that go, but what's the damage now going to be like? Which choice do they make here?
Very true. With Greymane gone, with Reyna gone, we've lost 2 of those incredible Bloodlust targets. Sylve, I think, would still be pretty reasonable. She can actually do really good work with auto-attack builds. Leoric, though, potential Mithril Mace style, could be seeing here. And with Li Ming on the board, maybe we won't see the Bloodlust. This could be an Ancestral to keep that Li Ming alive. It's possible.
Yeah, so Ritual with Leo and Li Ming is now in. So this is exactly the setup that I talked about previously, where you try to get those combos out and you put pressure on the Immortal. They need a bit more. What I want to know right now is what we're going to get from from gamers here. I mean, we already had some adjustments, banning out Tyrael, for example, so that the double layer of defense is not available. Here comes Diablo, and we get Anduin together with that from Sir Ice Cream.
I like the Anduin potential to have potential for that cleanse to deal with ETC. Makes a lot of sense. Burst protection if he wants to, or with Blaze and Diablo, a massive CC combo if they want to run it that way. They have good disengage and they have good engage now. It's a solid comp.
Last pick though. There's the Vala setup. So they get Vala and Li Ming. I talked about both earlier. That's going to be the arrow build, trying to stack the level 4 very quickly, then get the repeating arrow on 7, and then just like chunk out the damage against the opponent. And with this setup, you can definitely go strafe here too. There's nothing that really threatens you to an extent where you need the additional stun. You can use it as a follow-up to whatever Will-Q does. But Will-Q in particular, when paired with Vala on his ETC, can create some space for her to stay safe while she goes for the strafe. So he has both options, depending a little bit on if they want to set Li Ming up for the kill, or if instead they are trying to get the main damage through with Vala. But yeah, they can go into the stun, set up a combo, but she doesn't need it because on the other side there's no Illidan, Greymane, like any hero that would jump on her that she needs to be defensive against.
Yeah. There's one hero which could really pull out that Reign of Vengeance, and that is Anduin, if he of course chooses to go for Holy Word Salvation to try and keep the team alive that way. Vala can interrupt it. The other question is Strafe going to be safe with all of the extra crowd control that we do see? So it is very much going to be up to that. It's going to be depending on what Anduin picks, how safe Vala feels, how much she's being inted onto. It's going to be very flexible, and we're not really going to know until level 10 hits. It's a nice hero with a great set of options there.
I mean, pretty much every single time that you have a Vala in, what Vala players want to play is mostly strafe, because it gives you a lot of damage. The only questions that you have is, do you need Reign of Vengeance because you have to be on the defensive side? Do you need it for a stun combo on your end? And if that is not the case, does the opponent have too many interrupts so that you can't get safely enough damage in to counteract for that? So that's pretty much the setup that you usually see. And they have to decide that for yourself, because now, as you said, if you have, for example, an ETC power slide, Vala comes in with an additional stun, and Li Ming just sits at the side and gets the flank damage in with the combo, you can set insta-kills up like this. But then again, if you pop a good strafe and get a bit protected by ETC and nobody goes in for a stun, you can really zone the opponent away, or alternatively get a lot of damage out there.
Absolutely. They have so many options. This should be good. It's massive crowd control wombo versus, as you've called, a really good immortal race. That Li Ming as well also just adds so much to this. I am excited. The question is, are we going to go late game? If it goes late game, I'm definitely leaning towards PEPEMLADY as we are heading into the game, but due to the fact we had the potential for Buried Alive. Let's find out as we jump in, and PEPEMLADY on the left, Gore Rider Vala, Cesabos Li Ming, the Will-Q ETC, Dyla is playing on the Rhaegar. And of course we have Leoric chilling in the top lane.
Yeah, Richu on Leoric, and late game will be interesting also because we can still expect Manticore and Farfly Quiver taken from Vala, and that would chunk down Leo incredibly quickly. On the other side, though, Stork is playing the front line here. We got Tobos actually on Jimmy. So Ice Cream, obviously Anduin, and Kelvin on Tacita as we're heading into this one. The traditional setup of laners all the way up at the top and down to the bottom of the map. We're going to see the 4 versus 4, where both teams are now going to try to maybe get an early kill so that they can take the camp safely after the 1 minute mark, and if not, try and play around it too.
Ablar on that Blaze in the top lane, of course. Not an amazing lane up against Leoric, because Leoric, if he gets that Drain Hope onto Blaze, that could be a miserable lane, so he's going to have to play very mobile and make good use of his fire here. In the meantime, though, the wave clear coming out from Vala and Li Ming is forcing the members of Gamers back. Chelvin, though, he has a superb amount of wave clear of his own, just currently was staying a little mounted for safety. Good Volt by Gore, prevents stacks for Chelvin.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're still level 1. You're getting a little bit too far ahead here. Sorry. My mistake. I thought you were talking Vala.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Tobos, on the other hand, he goes for the camp top side, so they make the rotation towards the top. And at the same time now, once they identified that there's only 3 heroes down at the bottom of the map, we have the camp there taken as well. But yeah, Kelvin is definitely starting to stack for Vala. It's going to be important after level 4 to get those in as quickly as she can, so that as soon as the I mean, again, you don't get it on the second Immortal, but around the third, if you can actually complete your quest talent there, that would be absolutely insane because you can solo chunk it down while the rest of your team is playing a defensive setup around your own Immortals. So if they can get to that, that would be great. Same is, by the way, true for Tobos. So if Tobos with Exterminator is able to get onto Immortal solo, especially on number 1 and number 2, he is going to absolutely murder that thing.
Rotation comes in. This is more for the wave clear than anything else. Vala has been the one left in bottom lane to clear this up, and of course, multi-shot will allow her to do so, but that's not going to prevent any tower damage being done. Good job. And Shelvin also gaining a stack. Vault was unsuccessful this time by Gore Rider. Tass was able to get a good chunk of damage, forcing the fountain to be tapped.
Yeah. Talents come in. It's pretty much what we expected. Triumvirate for Li Ming, of course, on level 4 now, which is one of the standard talents.
I think Anduin's is the root auto attacks.
I didn't catch what he picked, sorry.
I will find the name for it because no one ever picks it. This is literally the first time I've ever seen that talent being picked. Because that's kind of crazy. If I'm right, I'm checking the icons now.
I mean, if they can... I've seen it a few times now. Yeah.
This is my first time seeing it, damn.
I mean, it's not... like I've seen it a couple of times just recently in some of the tournaments that we had there. With the rest, it's pretty much what you would actually expect. Again, Triumvirate for Li Ming has become a standard. You can pretty much pick any talent level 4 from her perspective now. When it comes to Vala, the stacks are obviously an integral part of that arrow build. And right now, I would give the lead on the Immortal race to Gamers. I mean, they're obviously already ahead, but like in the damage output department. But once that Vala is more stacked and has a repeating arrow, that equation changes quickly. But Exterminator is right now doing so much work already. It's absolutely crazy, especially on the first Immortal.
Gamers did lose the Immortal in that early stage to the halftime show, but now they have control over the area. We do see a 4-man rotate in. Leoric is not here, so it's a 4v4. Cesabos just doing good damage to the Immortal as Dyla's looking for his angle here. Gore Rider playing it safe, but he's getting good damage. Diablo comes in with a stun, but the Immortal stun is dodged. Going to be the race won by PEPEMLADY as Tobos not able to finish the race.
That's actually pretty impressive. With again, they got a lot here, obviously, with Li Ming, Vala, and also Rhaegar. But at the same time, if you got a Reyna with the Exterminator on the first Immortal, that is tons and tons of damage. So really good job by PEPEMLADY to lock this in. The next ones should be much easier for them because of the level 7 talent on Vala and the stacks that she can now accumulate on her level 4. But this is already a great start for them into the game. And as we said, this is going to be a more contested match than the ones we've seen previously, because these players all have a ton of experience on the high-level play and in tournaments in general.
Absolutely. Gore Rider keeping hatred up here, getting a stack off of Stalk there. Malevolence, though, for Diablo. He really wants to get onto Gore Rider here. Force Wall is down, nearly giving Vala nowhere to leave. A great power slide will allow Gore Rider to escape. And we see that leap of faith to save the day here. Phobos, though, slowed by Ritsu. They're going to try and take him out. But Stalk, with some good zoning there, positions himself to allow Tobos to escape.
Yeah, so for now, with the 5-man up at the top, it actually means that the gamers have a little bit more experience that they potentially get at the bottom, but Leo is already starting to move in, so no problem here. It's going to catch the experience for sure. Didn't see a kill that. We're on level 7, first Immortal is defended against, 5 minutes in. Diablo going a little bit deep, wall slide, that could be the first one. Stalk in trouble and he goes down. Nicely done, Li Ming with the final hit against him here.
Cast a Curse coming in immediately as we see Diablo taken out. Good attempt by Arbla, but the Will Q of a wonderful wonderful face melt to prevent the thrusters of the Blaze here, preventing that engage. Gore Rider continues to stack up because it's going to make this next objective even harder to contest.
Yeah, and the next objective, as we said, for PEPEMLADY, I expect them to absolutely dominate on this one. But there's another kill, so that's a counter kill. Leo goes down. Now, he's the one that you don't really mind losing too much in the early game. Death timers are low anyways. He will respawn on site, so that's never really a problem. Kelvin at this point also just like pausing the game a little bit. That's like always the setup that you can go for. I mean, he is on Tacita, so he's sitting a little bit to the side here. I'm not quite sure if he pauses for himself or for someone else. Gives us a little bit of opportunity to look at that minimap, though, because despite the fact that Leo just died, he still has that camp at the bottom of the map, and he will respawn in just a few seconds. So that would... Oh, sorry, there's Blaze at the top. It was actually covered by the Leo picture. For 1 second, I really thought that gamers were rotating towards the top with 5, and that kind of scared me a little bit.
In this case, no, denied by the minimap as Abla is able to stay down here and even gets out of the drain. Hope we'll be able to clear out that mercenary camp. So we see the race already begun. Gore Rider with level 7 available, going to be able to get those double shots onto the Immortal, and it's going to do immense damage. And we are seeing that reflected in the race. As right now, PEPEMLADY going to take the halftime show with a 5,000 health lead.
Yeah, easy one for them. That's the damage output that we talked about. You have to keep an eye on the level 10s, of course, because right now this is one of those setups. The first team to hit level 10 has theoretically a chance to maybe lock a fight in. But for now, still the battle towards PEPEMLADY's Immortal. They move topside with Rhaegar, though. Vala isn't there yet. Gore Rider's making the rotation. Abla trying to slow him down, but there's the first, there's the second arrow, and that's a massive chunk of hit points left. Li Ming goes down, but they still should be able to lock the Immortal in, and that's exactly what happens topside now. So PEPEMLADY, the early level 10, they lose a hero. They might lose a second. There's that route that you talked about, that lockdown, but the Immortal is still claimed by the blue team.
Level 10's available for both teams, though. Blaze bunkered, no massive engage memes here with Combustion. Will.Q backs out. Li Ming yet to pick her level 10. But we do see that Light Bomb. It's all about this massive stun combo. Light Bomb, Apocalypse, Blaze. They have huge engage, and then, of course, Archon to follow up and do that massive damage output. See how it works. 13 stacks already for Vala, doing pretty good here. Diablo is about to restack souls.
She's really doing well. And that is going to show... Oh, there it is. The follow-up stun.
He's out.
Yeah, but Abla gets still out. I mean, they dropped the ult, so there's at least that. There's also an Apocalypse that was a bit YOLO'd out by Stalk. I didn't force it too much. Now, 2 of the forts are damaged, but they weren't able to take one of them down. So that is actually heavily important right now. So good job by them. Holding those, first of all, so the red team still having that going for them.
See a little bit of damage. Reyna's Raider able to demount the Will.Q, slow down the rotation a little, nothing too much to really be too impactful. XP-wise, they are even. They're both holding themselves in this game very effectively. Neither one able to get a huge lead over the other, and with all forts still standing, this is still anyone's game.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, there is a potential that it snowballs a little bit hard once that we have those 2 forts eliminated on the red team side, but for that they need to win another objective. And that... Oh, clutched! The Ancestral barely coming out of self-Will.Q. If he goes down here, that would be great. They could have stolen the Shaman camp away and then build up some momentum. But as it stands, the blue team still in a bit of a lead overall, at least when it comes to the position on the map.
Good entomb. Diablo pulled out by the leap of faith. Light Bomb is dropped, but the Will.Q very patient. There's the bottom. It's interrupted by the overpower. Stalk gonna piece his way out. Hungry Arrow eats away at him. And everyone disengages. Every heroic use on the side of PEPEMLADY. Gamers, though, still got Bunker, and APOC is just about to come off cooldown, and of course, they have that Archon.
Yep. No level 13 for this one. Super even experience. So any kill at this point is honestly a big win, but just look at that bottom pressure from Richu on his Leo. So they get the first 4. And now the pressure here in the middle. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much on 50% HP just through the poke from Li Ming and from Vala, which is what we talked about during the draft. Look at these combos. One combo after another, and then you're always forced into the decision. What do? Do you let it go through and damage the Immortal? Do you soak it with a hero? Then your opponent can force a fight after some time. That's the halftime show 1, and they can now easily chunk that down if they can cross over towards the right side a little bit. So, yeah, big plays here currently from PEPEMLADY. Despite the fact that experience is still very similar here.
They have all their cooldowns back, though. 5 seconds till Ancestral. We already called about the Mosh Pit being put on the 10-second cooldown, so it is now available for this fight. And everyone is on those level 10s available again. They're going in without Leoric here into the 5v4. The Will.Q holds once again, and Stalk tanking through. Cesibos, though, he overextended with that Calamity. No kill was achieved, and as such is zoned away just as level 13 hits. And that might just be a race win coming over for the gamers here, as they will push their way in to try and win this race.
Yeah, that's a little bit frustrating for PEPEMLADY now. They did a great job initially, and they had a great position here, but that kill against him is a big problem. Double entomb as Richu moves in. Look at Gorrider on the other hand. He's just getting those attacks through, and nobody cares. They're trying to just race him. They're absolutely trying to race him, and it's going to be clutch. If he gets another arrow connected, it could be it. He uses the ult to 2 hit points. 2 hit points on the Immortal. What the hell?
No cleanse available. We see Gorrider go down. That's gotta feel bad. 2 hit points away. Gamers get the Immortal with basically a non-existent shield. It's gonna lose it from landing. Gonna be taken down to melee mode. But wow, what a race between these two teams.
And honestly, I thought that the hero that came in soaked one of the arrow hits. I'm not sure. Would have to see a replay here, but we had one of the defenders move in, and I think the RNG actually used 1 arrow on it. And if that's not the case, then they win it. But 2 HP on the Immortal, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. 4 kills against 1 now. And oh my god, Ford is down. Gamers with 4 kills against 1.
So far, we've not really seen an impactful mosh pit as of yet, but it's still available. The Will Q holding it out. This time right now, APOC and Light Bomb are available though, so it's going to be even harder to try and land it as both teams are still looking for a fight by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to get really tough now for... It's still very, very even, but of course, PEPEMLADY is losing a little bit of the momentum right now that they built up previously, and that could be problematic. So we'll see if they can actually pull through here, but it's not going to be all that easy. So let's see what they actually can do with this. They need to win a team fight at this point. They're doing well on the Immortal when it comes to fights, but they need to do a little bit more and win a battle here.
Force Wall was good, but Gorrider found a way out. Will escape here. Ominous Wraith are doing some good value. Apocalypse comes in. No one is hit, but good damage onto the Oric, who drops a counter in Tomb, though. EDC, he's zoning around. Great Ancestor onto Richu, keeping him alive as the Light Bomb turns it around as Richu will back out. Mosh Pit finally gets one, and they're trying to finish off Diablo. Will get it. Makes it a 2 for 0. Diablo back for souls, though. The Oric dives deep, and Chelvin able to finish him off, making that a 2 for 1.
Yeah, Kelvin gets the kill here. Diablo, he still had the souls, so he'll be back. Still 5 kills against 3, and very, very close between the two teams here. But, oh boy, this is really going down to the wire here. It must be very frustrating for PEPEMLADY, because, as we said previously, they had good setups around the Immortals, but gamers always found that one... They always found that gap, right? They always find that one moment where they can then get a kill, especially in the last Immortal, where PEPEMLADY took a massive lead towards the halftime show, and then the gamers come in, and they just do exactly what's needed, get the kill, turn it around, and win it with 2 hit points. So now we have 16 versus 16. It's a fantastic game, honestly. It's a great, great match here.
So close. XP still even, like you said. Dialer gets out, takes a lot of damage. Stork also dropped very low, but Sir Ice Cream can begin to top everyone up. Here comes Richu from the side, looking for his angle, but can't do it. Eats a zap from Tassadar, and Abla will heal himself back up.
Halftime show already about to be hit. I mean, it's the same picture again. You give PEPEMLADY just a few seconds on the Immortal, and with the help of Vala and Liming plus Rhaegar, they burn that down so quickly. And this is where the gamers are always under pressure. They always have to deliver. They always have to guard. They always have to wait for that one opportunity and then jump on it to take it down. If they can do that, they can turn it from there. But when it comes to a simple situation where they're racing with the opponent, PEPEMLADY has the edge.
Holding their position for the moment, PEPEMLADY. Mosh Pit is up in 12 seconds. That's what they're attempting to delay for right now. Rainer's Raider will be up in sync with it, in fact. A little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra poke. Li Ming trying to bait Diablo. Unsuccessful in doing so. But this is going to be all heroics up for a fight. In the meantime, though, that half health Immortal is looking very squishy. And with that Mosh Pit back up, we will start to see PEPEMLADY move up. And here's where they can actually start to get their poke in.
Yeah, there comes the Li Ming setup again. Arrows also getting connected. And this just chunks. And they can repeat that play in another 20 seconds. So they can just like wait it out, chill, fall back a little bit. The pressure is on the red team. The pressure is really on gamers to make something happen, and they know that too. So they're trying to be more aggressive around it now with 16 talents on both sides. Will Q is already looking for an opportunity to slide in and set something up for Li Ming in particular. Gore Rider, obviously, if he has a chance to slide over again, he's going to try and use that too. Good damage. Diablo comes in, tries to go for the kill, but he can't. The cleanse comes out. They're moving out, and now the Entomb is in. Tassadar gets saved by Andrin. Really well played. Yes, the boss is actually really low on his living and needs to fall back, and Stork comes in with another wall stun against Gore Rider, but there's no follow-up, and they can't take any of the heroes down.
Gore Rider went very far forward. Chelvin just chunking people there. The save from Sour Ice Cream may have saved them that fight, as most heroics were used. Still Light Bomb, still Ancestral, still Mosh Pit, as we finally see him moving forward, looking for Tassadar. He's one of the main damage outputs here, as Albla misses the stun. Here comes the Light Bomb on 4 members, but Tassadar is still taken out, and finally we see the snowball coming in. Mosh Pit was used and interrupted, but 2 kills, and they are racing forward, looking for Stork. Great with the Earthbind Totem onto Stork there, shutting down his escape. Stork will perish, and that's a 3-for-0 for PEPEMLADY.
And this time they didn't have the souls on Diablo, so that's not only a triple kill, that's also the Immortal locked in. They took some damage topside on their own fort because the red team's wave pushed in hard, but now they get for sure the fort, and they might be able to get even more. We're 17 minutes in, the Immortal definitely starts hurting here. Shields around 40%. There's definitely a lot they can do with this one here, especially if you are able to lock, so let's say, someone into another Entomb and then follow up with the next kill. So this one is dangerous. This push is something where gamers really have to set up good defense, or they might suffer heavily here.
They've got to put on an incredible defense. Diablo will be back in 5 seconds. He will have some souls. You can see it was on the long cooldown here, so we'll have something. Tassadar completed his level 1 quest. That's not often you see that. That is huge damage output we're going to start seeing from him here. You can see it chunked him. He's got the 8% extra damage as well. And wow, they are racing through that Immortal. As long as they don't get caught by ETC here, they are going to be able to save this keep. Forceful comes out. They wanted to try and race past it. Unable to do so. Keep down to half health. And they're trying to chase down, but they can't demount the will queue.
That's actually a really nice one. Yeah, I really like this. I mean, this game has, from the beginning to the end, really been back and forth. Initially, slight lead for PEPEMLADY, gamers bring it back. PEPEMLADY has a better setup around the initial damage on the Immortal, and gamers always find the kill. But even if when PEPEMLADY, as we saw in the last one, takes the fight, takes the objective, gamers lose ground, but they don't fall apart. There's no real snowball that we're seeing. There's always a bit of a fight back. Now, obviously, as PEPEMLADY is now a level ahead, that could change once they hit level 20. So the Storm Talons, that's going to be the big problem for gamers. They need to try and get the experience through camps, ideally through soaking on both lanes, and try and bridge that gap as quickly as they can. Maybe even see if they can get a kill somewhere before level 20 hits. But PEPEMLADY now has a very good opportunity to take the Storm Talons first and then try to lock in another Immortal with that advantage.
Rhaegar holding back, grabbing mana, and you can see, look how they're rotating, PEPEMLADY and gamers here. Both of them are only rotating through their own base. Because PEPEMLADY know the only way they're going to throw now is if they get killed before level 20. Gamers know a really good way to give the enemy team level 20 is if they get caught in the rotation. So both teams just playing the game of safety chicken, trying to keep themselves safe so they can soak up. Because gamers need 22.
Safety chicken, I like it. That one's great.
Death Mosh coming in, Farflight Quiver, Repulsion, Storm Shield for Rhaegar. They do have 20. That's going to give them such a big lead on the race here.
This is honestly where I'm a little bit terrified for them, just simply because if you also have the Farflight Quiver now, you have the range that Vala needs to really chunk Diablo very, very easily. I mean, now she's not really a part of the fight because she's trying to burn down the Immortal, which she does now. But if she starts chunking Stork here, he's going to be under so much pressure in every single team fight from here on out. It's definitely going to be tricky. And Vala is so much safer at this point too. So these 20s are terrifying. But gamers have to fight. They can't do anything else. They need to go and respond to this. And that's also where we need to watch Leoric, because his Buried Alive can change everything.
So what we're seeing here is gamers backing away as they're actually charged in to Gore Rider. Mosh Pit on just Anduin will lock him down for a while. Bunker comes out as well, keeping everyone alive. Albla very low, but great saving tools here, keeping people in this game. Good repulsion to keep Gore Rider in the game too. Fantastic by Cesibos.
Yep, nicely done here. Honestly, for a second it looked like Stork dashed a rock. That's what he looked for just a moment. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, okay. Looked a little bit strange for just a second. But yeah, here comes the damage output. And now there's another arrow, and the hit points on that bad boy just disappear. And I have to highlight it again. That's against a Reyna with Exterminator. So that's how powerful this setup and this combo is that PEPEMLADY is now playing. Because Jimmy with Exterminator is pretty much one of the top picks if you want to burn down an Immortal. So yeah, nicely done.
Alright, so with heroics down on both sides, only light bomb available. Apocalypse is about to come back up though. They still have this stun combo. Obla though, in a not good position. Execute's been taken though. Level 20s are available. Obla, he's picked the upgraded buggy. He's going to try and turn it. The rest of the team pushing out a base to try and save him. Diablo coming in from the side, looking for a good repulsion though, and APOC is burned.
Yeah, APOC is already burned out. 20 versus 20 now at least, but here comes the Entomb, the save of the Ice Cream. Nicely done, that one was important. But of course, that's on cooldown now too. They're pushing top side, Immortal is at the bottom. That keep here is definitely going to fall. The only question is, can they go for keep number 2? Can they go for core? As the defense, trying to burn it down as quickly as they can. This is not going to be easy by any means. What gamers have to do here now.
They forced gamers off the Immortal for a little bit. The keep will survive, but what they've done is forced more damage onto it, giving them a better chance to rush in bot lane if they need to. And of course, if they win the next objective. They're also still waiting for their heroics to come back up. 5 seconds on that mosh pit. 10 seconds on Entomb, which is now buried alive, of course. And you can see immediately Li Ming and Rhaegar just getting as far away as possible. They need to be able to get these kills. You can also see how gamers are positioning, because so far they've caught ETC about 3 times here. They've caught the Will Queue, but you see them back away because they know Death Mosh is available. And because of that, Rhaegar's actually been able to get off an extra Ancestral that he might not have been able to get otherwise. So we're seeing a little bit of caution out of the game. It's justified caution, but it is keeping the Will Queue in this game.
I'm actually amazed that the red team was able to keep the... So, like, there's of course a little bit of an aspect of PEPEMLADY being cautious, but that gamers were able to defend this with not even losing the bottom keep is incredible to me. So this game is still 6 kills against 5, and it's just so close because you can tell that both of the teams are super aware of the fact that if they start to lose a few heroes here, they might just get snowballed a little bit too hard. But the double camp at the bottom of the map now, them pushing through with catapults, and PEPEMLADY definitely willing to poke here and hoping for that buried alive from Leoric. So if he lands that and they can get a kill, Anduin, he will have to work overtime in order to keep everybody alive, and that's the case.
He has been doing a fantastic job, so Ice Cream has got so many great leap of faiths to keep people alive in this series, though. He's already working overtime, now he's got to get that double overtime money. So we see the top wave clear coming in. Immortals about to spawn, though.
Yeah, Immortals are going to be coming up again. Top side, now that we're 24 minutes into the game, it's Winion time. So if the catapults ever push through, that would be a problem for gamers. So there's even more pressure onto them. As if on the past few objectives it wasn't enough already, right? So 6 kills against 5 now, still. Super close here, 21 versus 21. But top lane is a concern. Someone has to deal with that eventually. But they are chunking damage here. I mean, this is really both waiting for an opportunity, hoping to just get the vision and maybe lock someone down. A good jet propulsion from Abla could set this up. A good wallstone from Stork. And as always, that Leo and Tomb that Richu can supply.
Good damage, Li Ming. Dropping Stork low, and this is where Stork's actually having a little bit of issue here. He's trying to absorb these hits from Li Ming to keep their Immortal alive, but he's eating too much damage. Obla takes some damage from Raidzu. No Entomb drops. Keeping it for the multi-members.
Yeah, Stork actually moved back to the fountain. So he tapped fountain already and is now trying to come in from a bit of an angle. Has gone for the pre-tap. Nicely done. Going for Will Q. And the cow gets out. Good escape from Will Q.
Power slide was good. Interrupted the second shadow charge of Stork as he did get the reset later on. We have Archon has been popped. They are committed to this, but this means Archon is not available for a team fight now. They are full in and they will get the halftime show. Archon, though, with Twilight Archon trying to keep it up. They go in and they will get Richu here. The question is, can they get more? They have to keep that Tassadar moving. They need him for auto attacks, or he's going to lose. He's going to use the totem here. He's got to keep that Twilight Archon up, or he won't have it for teamfights. The slow from Leoric nearly shut it down.
But they take it. Gamers, honestly, the aggression that comes out from them gets rewarded. They're moving in. They took the kill against Leo. Now they're going to take the Immortal. They need to take care of the catapults at the core. As I said, it's Winion time. So you need to shut these catapults down. The next wave is already moving in. But with the 25-minute Immortal, you can do a whole lot here. You can end the game. Now, Leo is going to come back now, but they can't afford any additional kills. But this is, again, as I said previously, this is the problem. They need to send someone back, and it's not happening right now. They need to send someone back, and it needs to happen immediately.
70, 72, minions have spawned. They will clear up a couple of these catapults. 53, 44, Tobos with the save.
Yeah, but that's 30% on the core, and honestly, that can't happen. These guys are good enough to realize what's going on top lane, so this should not happen here on this level. 30% on the core as you want to push with the Immortal, and of course this one has been defended against now. But this is what I want about before the objective was actually active.
Stork is in the backline, really trying to do work here. He got Khurchu, but a nice ominous Wraith saves it. No Archon, Reyna not being here for the objective now expiring, and gamers, like you're saying, you called it before the objective, but they have taken their opportunity to pull out a lead here, and it's been taken away from them.
I think what they thought is that they just try and end with the Immortal, that they just ignore the catapults for now, and that they just simply thought or hoped that the next wave would clear at least 1 or 2 out, and they would be faster, you know? I feel that was the thought process here. They definitely knew there were catapults coming in, but either they underestimated the damage a little bit or they didn't realize how many there were. They were probably just saying, okay guys, let's just push with the Immortal. We have a big one right now. We fought hard for it. Let's try to end it here. And then they realized, damn, if we actually don't do it, then we're gonna run out of time. We're not fast enough. But now they kind of lost that opportunity to at least take the top keep out.
Heroics traded back and forth. Bunker traded for the Entomb here. Wave of Force on 25 seconds. Apocalypse on 18. Both these teams are looking for that end game scenario, because the fact is, if gamers win a team fight, they can just race the core and win, especially with how low that bottom keep is. Even losing that Immortal, it is still there as potential for them. But they gotta win that team fight, and that's what both these teams are looking for, because right now, there's very little else to do on the map. 10 seconds till the objective spawns, though, so finally we'll see them contest that again. And whoever wins this, I would have said last fight, whoever won that could have won the game, but I was proved wrong, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean... now 28 minutes in, this is pretty much a decisive one. If you lose this one, then it's lights out. And this is obviously doubly so true if PEPEMLADY locks it in, because they are the ones that are looking now at a 30% core on the other side. So if they push in for that, then it's definitely over. Gamers are under even more pressure than they were previously. They can still pull it off. They've shown it several times now. But just look what the blue team's doing. They do the exact same thing. They push out the top lane, say like, guys, either you make a move, but we just put you on a timer. Once those catapults reach your core, you're done for. So make your move now, or just accept that this game is ours.
Shots being taken. You're even going to see Arbala move up to top lane. He's going to try and clean out that lane, but immediately you see the move coming in. A Leap of Faith has to be burned. Prevent that, and we start to see that Immortal race coming in. The second Blaze leaves. They know they have an opportunity, and forcing out that cleanse is a big deal. Here comes the APOC, though, and they're able to get the stun. Cleanse comes out onto Banner, who's able to retreat and keep it going. Archon onto Raidsu with Blaze in the backline. It's a full retreat attempt with Ancestral onto Raidsu, and another disengage.
Yeah, disengaging again here. Time still working in favor of the blue team. They know that too. I mean, you can only stretch that out so much, right? So halftime show, you can still simply let that one slide. That's fine. But after that, you have to react to this. Can I just say how amazing it is that we're actually in a 30-minute game here? I absolutely love this. You don't see that a lot in Battlefield of Eternity. But this is definitely going to be a great one. Again, Rich looking for an opportunity. Blaze went topside to push lane out a little bit to make sure that the catapults are not putting that much pressure on it again. So that's already good for them.
Holding it together. Stork's a little far forward, and again you see the move coming in. Forceful will prevent it though. Stork eats a lot of damage from that Drain Hope, but he will be alive. So they move forward for the defensive Immortal here. Good damage onto Dyla. Will Q though is peeling so well. Entomb on the backline. Leap of Faith shuts it down again though, but Arbala and Stork taking a lot of damage, and Stork is isolated here.
Yeah, Stork is definitely isolated and could be taken down now if they can get a bit more damage onto him. They're trying to. Leo comes in. He himself needs to be careful too though, and he dies first. Stork actually survives. Leo is down. They're trying to lock the Immortal in. Seems like PEPEMLADY is panicking a little bit at this point. Stork with a big boy play coming in deep and trying to go for a quick second kill, despite the fact that he was pretty low on HP, believing in Anduin to keep him alive here. But that
survives. That
combo
was
from
a
Li Ming.
risky port from Stork there. A-pot comes out, missed, and there we go. Resets one, looks for the second. Obla's in full retreat. He leaves the oil. He's buying himself time, but the Immortal's being won. Valor needs one more. She can't reach him. Obla will survive. Race comes out, and it's gonna be won by gamers. They win the race.
Yeah, they win the race, but there's the attack towards the top. It seems that PEPEMLADY says, okay, let's go YOLO. It's Lolo. They know they can't stop this. So they're just saying, let's go for the core here. And you can already see the defense. I mean, this is a now or never move as they're going for it. There's the mosh pit. They're deciding to just go for Blaze. They take him down. They're chipping away at the shield. Looks like PEPEMLADY is able to pull it off. They go in and they take the gamers down on this map. Battlefield of Eternity. The big boy Immortal won by the red team, but they lose their game.
Wow, what a finish to that game. Absolutely insane at the end. And I want to point out, we had it on the mini-map there. The reason that was able to go so well, that two-man mosh pit, 3 members were all tied up with Ritsu there in that bottom lane. They were all trying to kill him. And then the second he knows his team's engaged, he just Wraith walks to the core and just leaves everyone behind, turning that into a 2v5, 2v4 for a little bit there. He really took the better positioning there and gave his team that opening.
I mean, that one was honestly a bit crazy. And towards the end, PEPEMLADY, it was kind of weird because it's the situation you want to be in anyways if your opponent is this low in the core. At the same time, they tried after they initially were able to drop it down to 30 to just play it normal, right? Win the objective, win the team fight, go for the safe plays. When they lose the Immortal 30 minutes in, past 30 minutes even, they know it's over. If they try to defend, they're going to lose the game. That Immortal is going to chunk down the keep so quickly. That's a one-shot right there. So they make the only play they can make, and they try to rush at the core, and it works out for them. But that was really well done. Getting the kill against Blaze first. You mentioned the delays. But again, it's a move they have to make, and in this case, it worked out. But what a game. I mean, 30 minutes in, Battlefield of Eternity was awesome.
Here's where we have to ask the question, though. Would they have been able to do that race if that core hadn't been at 30%?
No, I don't believe for a second that they would have been able to do that. I actually think if the core is at 100%, if this catapult play never really works, they don't even try. I think in this case, they would probably just simply say, okay, let's try to defend against the Immortal, as unlikely as it is. We can't go cross-map and take a core down that is at 100%. But with 30 and with the delay, that works out.
Worked out very, very well in their favor in this case, able to keep it going, keep themselves alive. Wow. That was honestly incredible between these two teams. We have our next game after the break. It is going to be, we're sticking with this part of the bracket, Washed Up versus PEPEMLADY.